Have you ever wanted to spend 4 years studying rock? Hard rock, classic rock, grunge, psychedelic. If you love the glamorous rock and roll lifestyle, have I got the major for you. Wait, what? What do you mean it's the wrong kind of rock? Okay, take 2. Have you ever wanted to spend 4 years studying rock? Igneous, sedimentary, metamorphic. All the stuff that makes up the earth we rock out on. I mean, geology is pretty rock and roll. Hi, I'm Erica Brzozowski and welcome to Fast Guides, a study hall series that explores different college majors. And for those about to rock, we salute you. Like the best rock lyrics, it takes a deep look at the cold, hard facts of living on the planet Earth. And if you know how to look for it, its influence is everywhere, from the water we drink, to the coal we burn, to the ground we're standing on. The first biggest misconception about geology is that it's only about petrology, or the study of rocks. Geology is actually the study of the physical Earth in general, and that includes a lot of things. One of them is the Earth's structure and substance, stuff like its crust and its core, and of course, the rocks they're all made of, and also natural resources that Earth gives us, like oil and minerals. But geologists also study the evolution and dynamics of the Earth, like how it went from being a newborn cloud of hot dust and gas to the still changing but at least solid planet it is today. And geology doesn't even stop at our own planet. Although most geologists do study Earth, some of them also study the structure and evolution of the moon, or other planets in our solar system, like a shooting star leaping through the sky like a tiger, defying the laws of gravity, if you will. And like a big hunk of sandstone, this stuff can be broken down, into subfields that is. Many geologists choose to focus on specific aspects of the field, like minerals, or volcanoes, or marine geology, or engineering, or geophysics, or geochemistry. Geology is different from geography, because it focuses on the whole planet, not just the formations and places on Earth's surface, and generally leaves human behavior out of it. And it's different from fields like earth or environmental science because it is really big on rocks. It pays less attention to stuff like rivers and forests and ecosystems and more attention to, say, banded iron formations. But don't get it twisted, sister. Geology can teach us a lot about the history of Earth and also the life on it. Rocks hold onto all kinds of records of the Earth's atmosphere, life, and chemical makeup from billions of years of history. This can give us a deep understanding of how our planet got to be the way it is, and maybe even a glimpse into its future. So if you love rock and roll, put another dime in the jukebox, baby, and let's see what being a geology major is really like. First of all, let's get one thing straight. If you want to be the teacher's pet, you just better forget it. Rock got no reason, rock got no rhyme. Geology has plenty of room for teacher's pets though, and with a couple pointers, it has a lot of reason and rhyme too. The first thing you should know is that not all schools will have a geology major. Even though rocks are everywhere, geology is pretty niche. So at some schools, it might just exist as a minor or as a pathway within other programs instead of as its own major. Or sometimes, like a metamorphic rock beneath the Earth's surface, a geology major is buried deep under some other kind of major. So if you hear of geological sciences, geosciences, or something like that, it's a good bet that a more traditional geology major is hiding inside. Once you've found a program that's the right fit for you, you'll probably start out with some kind of introductory course that'll clue you into the basics of geology. You'll learn important stuff about Earth systems and the way they interact, and you might even get to touch some rocks and minerals too. You'll also need to get some basics down in other fields, like chemistry, biology, and physics, which will help you understand the foundations of the geological world. After that, you'll move on to some more advanced stuff. Upper-level geology electives will teach you about stuff like hydrology and stratigraphy and petroleum geology. This is your chance to start figuring out what specific things you're into. Like, I'm more of a synth rock girl myself. Lots of these more specific geology courses will include labs, where you'll get a feel for the actual work of studying geology. That might be computer lab type stuff with tools like RStudio, MATLAB, and Geographic Information Systems. Or it might be wet lab type stuff like mineral analysis or soil testing or experimenting to see if talc really is softer than your fingernail. You might even get to do some field work, examining geological formations or collecting specimens in the real outdoor world. Toward the end of your undergrad career, you might get to dig really deep into a topic that you love with an independent research, honors, or capstone project. This is your opportunity to put all your research skills to the test and try to answer your very own geology research question. Obviously, there are plenty of reasons to love geology, despite the glaring lack of heavy drive bass guitar. Like if you're really interested in understanding the big, important truths of our planet, geology is one of the best places you can start. Studying what our planet is literally made of can give us all kinds of insights about how it got here and where it's going and what's happened to it along the way. So it's a great major for people with big, existential questions about how the world got the way it is, and who want real, rock-solid answers. But even if you're not such a big picture person, geology asks and answers tons of practical questions too. Like what's actually going to happen with climate change? And how much oil and coal and water do we really have left? And how can we do stuff like mine important minerals and dispose of wastes with the fewest costs to our planet? At its molten core, geology is a really sciencey field, so if you're good with numbers, computers, pipettes, and specimen jars, you might be ready to rock. But on the dark side of the moon, all that science can be really challenging. Geology requires big skills with rocks and minerals, but also with chemistry, physics, math, and computer science. Combine those tricky classes with tons of lab hours and you're in for some hard work. Like topaz hard, which is harder than quartz, by the way. So if all that makes you want to sing "School's Out Forever," you might think about pivoting to something like geography, which takes a little bit more of a social studies approach to the Earth's big secrets, focusing more on the activities of humans than, say, sedimentary rocks. Geology is also a pretty specialized field. While it can tell us a lot about Earth and even other planets, people usually do get into it for the love of rock, and for all those other materials and physical processes of our planet. So if you're less interested in the physical makeup of the Earth and more interested in stuff like life and ecosystems, a more all-encompassing major like Earth science might be more up your alley. But if you decide to stick it out with geology, you'll be on course for all kinds of rockin' careers. Right out of college with your BS in geology, you could become a hydrologist, someone who studies water and how it moves around the Earth. If you want to look at other natural resources too, you could become an environmental geologist instead, and focus on how we can use all kinds of resources like minerals and fossil fuels in safe, sustainable-ish ways. Or you could look for a job as a geochemist. Geochemists study the chemical makeup of rocks and minerals and how that stuff interacts with resources like soil and water. Hydrologists, environmental geologists, and geochemists can all work in all kinds of places, from consulting with mining or petroleum companies, to nonprofits, to government organizations. But as of the early 2020s, they all make something like $75,000 to $100,000 on average. But if you want to make a little more, you could look into something like engineering geology. Engineering geologists figure out how engineering projects will interact with the Earth and its materials in order to keep them safe, efficient, and sustainable. Like lots of engineers, these guys tend to do pretty well for themselves, making somewhere between $84,000 to $139,000 a year as of 2025. But if money is no object and you just love studying geology, you could also consider going back to school. A Master's of Science in Geology will let you dig even deeper into your favorite geology topics, from ore deposits to seismic hazard potential to landing site specifications on Mars. And it can make you a better candidate for all kinds of geology jobs. And with a PhD in geology, you could become a college professor and spend all your days teaching and researching in the field you love. Salaries can vary a lot depending on where you teach, but college profs in the US tend to earn between $60,000 and $120,000 a year. So if you love AC/DC, and Van Halen, and basalt, and limestone, and anthracite, geology might be the right track for you. If you want to investigate more degrees before you choose a major, check out our other videos in this playlist. To find out how to earn college credit with Study Hall, go to gostudyhall.com or click on the link here or in the description. And if you want to help us out, give this video a like and a comment below to let us know how you chose your degree and what you wish you'd known before you started your degree. Thanks for watching!